Regan Slaymaker for Not Just Boxing, and I have the pleasure to be joined by promoter George Warren. George, just saying to you off camera, 3 excellent announcements for Queensbury to kick off their DAZN schedule.
Yeah, really happy with a strong start. I wanted all domestic fights, felt like that was a good place for us to start. We've kind of been famous now for making, in-house clashes and rivalries and things like that, and so for us it was important that we started like that. Heavy impact's great. There's jeopardy in all the fights. They're fighters at different stages. There's guys like David Adelaide trying to break through that ceiling that he's at the moment and join the likes of the Lawrences of this world at that next stage. And then at the top of the card, you've obviously got Dillian and Joe in a make or break fight. The winner goes on and has a very successful 2025, gets involved in big fights. The loser, I don't know. So it's great that we've got jeopardy, and that's what it's about. And we move then into Nottingham, May 10th. Really, really excited that Lee's joined us, and what a way to start his relationship with us, which is in with, for me, arguably one of the standout performers of last year in Anthony Cacace in a boxing ring. It took that opportunity offered by His Excellency on the Riad season cards with both hands. Great 2 quality performances, first against Joe Cordina and then Josh Warrington, and it just goes to show what type of guy he is. He's going straight back in with a real tough fight in Lee Wood, fight that's just going to be all fireworks, as we know. And then Josh Taylor, Echo Essuman to finish off May as well. So really strong start, really, really happy with it.
If I had to put you on the spot, and even the undercard fights, because there's one banger I want to talk to you about on them, if I had to pick your fight of those announcements, I'd put you on the spot, which one would that be, that one fight that you're most looking forward to?
Do you know what? Probably Cacace would, just because they're both just known as big punchers, aggressive, both been in fight of the year contenders before. Just natural. Look, for me, that's the job, promoting a lot of its matchmaking, trying to deliver entertainment, and it's just one of those when you put it down on a piece of paper, go, oh yeah, that gels, that works. So that
definitely as well. I want to move on. I want to go on to the Josh Taylor Echo Essuman card as well. There's an undercard fight on there that is an absolute banger. Nathaniel Collins, Lee McGregor. I mean, obviously Nathaniel coming off, a horrible injury. I'm pretty sure.
He had surgery.
But he's going. I think he's got a tick over in a couple of weeks. But he's going straight back into with Lee McGregor, all Scottish clack. There's a lot on the line between those two as well, where, like you said, a lot of jeopardy for the loser in that fight.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's a bit of bragging rights, and I'd say he's been in a similar position that Echo's been in, which is he's kind of cleaned up domestically, looking really strong there, but at the same time not really necessarily had that fight yet that's broken them through to kind of get noticed on world level. I'm not saying beating Lee McGregor means that you're a contender for the world title, but it's a step in the right direction. It's a dance partner for him that sells. It will resonate well up in Glasgow. Obviously, one coming from Edinburgh, one coming from Glasgow, so there's going to be a bit of bragging rights. But I think, look, if Nathaniel comes through that, puts himself into contention. We've got Liam Davies moving up to featherweight as well. We just saw that Zach Miller obviously just won the British title against Masood Abdullah, and obviously sitting at the top of that tree at Queensbury is Nick Ball, and that's who they're all vying for. So a lot on the line for them, and the winner goes on. And I think Nathaniel's sitting very high with the WBC right now. If he can come through it, he sits there very big opportunity rather, to fight for a world title this year.
Definitely. And then a rescheduled fight between Nathaniel Collins and Nick Ball that was, I think it was scheduled for the British title a few years ago. That would be a great unification should Nathaniel Collins win that fight. I do want to touch on the main event. Dillian Whyte, Joyce. Excellent scrap, like you said, lots of jeopardy. Obviously, there is one negative I do want to touch on. Obviously, Dillian Whyte has been in the news, obviously, for failing drugs testing and things like that. Can I just ask if there's drugs testing involved with the main event on April the 5th as well?
Yeah. VADA testing's in place, as is the standard UCAD testing in conjunction with the British Boxing Board of Control. I'm not going to comment on where Dillian's been previously. It wasn't nothing to do with us, not our events. I don't know what contractually or testing was in place for those previous events. All I know is that his legal team and ourselves, we spoke and got in contact with the British Boxing Board of Control last week. We applied for the fight to be sanctioned. Robert Smith confirmed there's no issue with the fight being sanctioned. The event is licensed by the British Boxing Board of Control. It's happening under their jurisdiction. Of course, there's drug testing in place when we have significant fights. We always typically have VADA testing as well as I say, UCAD testing. So yeah, we're comfortable from an event perspective, from a promoter's perspective. We've done everything we can.
Fantastic as well. And I do want to move on to let's reflect on Derek Chisora's win. I mean, if there's never a fight that I thought Derek Chisora probably wouldn't roll back the years, it'd be his 49th fight against a really tricky southpaw. And I mean, I thought it was really hard to give Otto Wilding at least 2 rounds. I mean, reflect on, a wild night in this arena as well last week.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I think, it goes to show sometimes what home advantage can do for a fighter, because you're right, because I think from the moment he walked out, he just felt like, this is my night, everyone's here to see me. And I think Derek's necessarily always had that through his career. He's kind of, it's been 49 fights to become like an overnight sensation almost. He's built that, and he's deserved it because of what he does for boxing fans, which is just entertainment. He comes out and he doesn't take a back step, he's all action. And what he did so well, and everyone forgets with Derek, is Derek can fight, but what he did so well on Saturday is he negated anything that an awkward tall southpaw would usually typically look to do against you, which is to box on the outside, try and out jab him. He closed that gap, and when he was on the inside, he put pressure on him, big shots, big bombs, and just rocked him. And he kept doing that, and when he needed to take a breather, he used that common sense that he's built as a professional and made sure that he took his time when he needed to. But he was winning the rounds, and well won the fight.
He definitely did it as well. And just one last one, pushing on to next week, better be a Bivol too. I can't believe it's just next week, but your man Hamza Sheeraz challenging Carlos Adames for the world title. I mean, this is a massive opportunity for Hamza if he's not already, to become a star on February the 22nd.
Yeah, listen, without a doubt. I mean, firstly, let's just start by saying that's an event that for me is without doubt the greatest event I've certainly ever seen in boxing. You have 7 quality 50-50 fights at world level featuring some of the biggest and best names in boxing. Obviously, from a Queensbury perspective, we've got Jeopardy in fights with Daniel fighting Joe Parker, obviously, as you just said, Hamza against Carlos Adames, and obviously with Zile Zhang and Ajit Caballero as well. So we sit there and be nervous for some of them, but other than them I get to sit back and relax, and we're so appreciative of the opportunity that His Excellency has given our fighters, and he's given boxing fighters from around the world this opportunity to fight in these great, amazing events and get that recognition. And look, boxing is thriving from that. That investment is driving more success. I've seen a lot of people talk about, British boxing's maybe potentially been suffering because of stuff happening in Riad season. I think it's been the complete opposite. I think it's rejuvenated the sport. It's seen, more investment come in. It's seen these opportunities for guys like Nick Ball going to get them and then coming back and selling out arenas in his hometown off the back of that. So it's just been an absolutely amazing thing to be involved in. But getting back to Hamza, I'm confident in him. I think he's a world-class fighter. I think he wins it. And if he wins it, it sets up an incredible 2025 for him.
It definitely does as well. And George, my first time in Saudi next week, so I'm looking forward to being there. And just on that moment on Riyadh season kind of building, I was at the top tier show at Brentwood last night, and I actually spoke to someone and said, without kind of that influx of Saudi, it's like, would a lot of the people be there watching the boxing, watching a small show without that? I mean, it's definitely kind of, it's put this new injection into British boxing.
100%. Look, anything that gives this sport more eyeballs, more exposure, more promotion. You see it from, you just see the reaction to some of the promos that they're creating for these Riyadh season events. You're seeing the feedback, you're seeing that it's getting national news coverage, you're seeing it trending online, on Twitter or on Instagram. When boxing is at its best and people's eyes are on it, the whole sport thrives from it. This investment comes in, bigger fights are getting made, there's enthusiasm, tickets are selling, so it's an exciting and great time to be involved in the sport, and we should all be celebrating it.
It definitely is. George Warren, thank you very much. I'll see you in Saudi. Thank you.
Thank you.